I am taking one more step to protect Americans from the scourge of deadly fentanyl flooding into our country. With this historic executive order I will sign today, we're formally classifying fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction.
At 3:47 a.m. on a humid Thursday morning, the FBI director steps to a podium inside a secure federal briefing room in Washington, D.C., and delivers 6 words that will rewrite the boundaries of organized crime in America. We have dismantled a medical cartel. Not a drug cartel, not a medical cartel. 65 American citizens are dead. $35.2 million in counterfeit pharmaceuticals have flooded the streets of South Florida. And according to sealed intelligence documents now declassified for this operation, human organs harvested from overdose victims and trafficked migrants were being shipped in refrigerated cargo containers to black market brokers in Guangzhou, China. This is not about corner dealers or street-level smugglers. This is about men in white coats, doctors, pharmacists, clinic directors, hospital administrators, people you trust with your life who turn your body into inventory. The operation had a name, Project Serpent Heal. And what federal agents discovered in Miami was not a healthcare system. It was a slaughterhouse with a prescription pad. The next part is worse. For 32 a.m., Brickell Avenue, Miami, Florida. The air is thick. Humid fog rolls in from Biscayne Bay and clings to the glass towers that line the financial district like a predator waiting in silence. Neon lights from rooftop lounges flicker against low clouds. The streets are empty except for a few stragglers stumbling out of nightclubs. But beneath that silence, something else is moving. 43 unmarked black Suburbans roll into position across a 12-block grid. FBI, ICE, Day, Homeland Security Investigations, U.S. Marshals, Miami-Dade SWAT in full tactical loadout. Even a Marine Corps Special Operations Advisory Unit deployed under executive emergency authorization. They are hitting 15 locations simultaneously. A luxury medical spa on South Beach that advertises hormone therapy and anti-aging treatments. A chain of pharmacies scattered across Kendall, Coral Gables, and Hialeah. A private surgical center in Aventura with tinted windows and no visible patient flow. A refrigerated warehouse near the port of Miami that is registered as a seafood distributor. And a sprawling estate in Coral Gables owned by a man the community knows as Dr. Emilio Vargas, one of the most respected oncologists in South Florida. Respected, trusted, untouchable. At exactly 4:37 a.m., the first breach happens. SWAT rams the reinforced door of the Brickell Medical Spa. Flashbangs explode in white bursts of light and sound. Agents in black helmets pour through the entrance like water through a cracked dam. Inside, they find 3 men in surgical scrubs trying to shove black duffel bags into an industrial shredder. The bags are full of pill bottles. OxyContin, Percocet, Xanax, Adderall, Vicodin, all of them counterfeit. Pressed in clandestine labs using fentanyl, talcum powder, and food dye. Pills designed to look identical to the real thing, but containing 50 times the lethal dose of synthetic opioids. The kind of pills that stop your heart in under 4 minutes. At the Aventura Surgical Center, agents find something worse. In a basement operating theater lit by fluorescent surgical lamps, they discover 6 stainless steel tables. 3 of them still have blood pooled in the drainage grooves. On a shelf near the autoclave sterilizer, there are 47 biohazard bags labeled with alphanumeric codes instead of patient names. Inside those bags are tissue samples, kidney fragments, sections of liver, cornea stored in saline vials. On a dry erase board mounted on the wall, someone has written a shipping schedule in blue marker. FedEx cold chain. Departure MIA 11 p.m. Arrival in Guangzhou 72 hours. One agent, a 15-year veteran of the FBI's Crimes Against Persons Unit, later tells investigators he had to step outside and breathe for 5 minutes before he could continue processing the scene. At the Coral Gables estate, the raid goes loud. Dr. Emilio Vargas does not come quietly. His private security, 2 former Blackwater contractors hired under the table, opened fire from the second-floor balcony with AR-15 rifles. Federal agents returned fire. One contractor goes down. The other drops his weapon and raises his hands. Vargas is found in a panic room behind a false bookshelf in his study, surrounded by laptops, encrypted phones, and 3 leather briefcases containing $1.8 million in cash, neatly banded and vacuum sealed. In his master bedroom closet, agents find a steel gun safe. Inside the safe, there is no gun. There are hard drives, 12 of them, military-grade encrypted storage devices with tamper-proof casings, and a handwritten ledger in Spanish and Mandarin that lists names, dates, organ types, and dollar amounts. By 6:15 a.m., the raids are complete. Federal agents have seized 4.7 million counterfeit pills, $8.3 million in cash, 19 kilograms of pure fentanyl powder, and 72 refrigerated biocontainers holding what forensic teams will later confirm as human organs and tissue samples harvested without consent from deceased overdose victims and trafficked migrants who disappeared in transit through South Florida. But the story is just beginning, because when FBI cyber forensics cracks the encryption on those hard drives, they do not find a drug ring. They find a corporation. 9:22 a.m., FBI Cybercrimes Division, Miami Field Office. A team of analysts sits in a windowless room, lit only by the glow of 6 monitors displaying cascading lines of decrypted data. For 3 hours, they've been breaking through military-grade encryption protocols, using a combination of brute force algorithms and leaked cartel cipher keys obtained from a DEA informant inside the Jalisco New Generation cartel. And then the system unlocks. On the main screen, a network diagram blooms like a digital spiderweb. At the center of the web is a name, Governor Marcus Whitfield. Fictional, powerful, untouchable. Governor Whitfield is a third-term state executive known for his tough-on-crime speeches, his advocacy for healthcare reform, and his public opposition to federal immigration enforcement. He has been mentioned as a potential vice presidential candidate. His face is on billboards across Florida promoting veteran healthcare initiatives. But according to the files now visible on the screen in front of federal investigators, Governor Whitfield is also the silent architect of the largest medical fraud and organ trafficking network ever discovered on American soil. The operation is called Project Serpent Heal. It is not a conspiracy. It is a business model. And it works like this. Step 1. Governor Whitfield uses his executive authority to fast-track state medical licenses for doctors with foreign credentials, many of whom have histories of malpractice or ethical violations in their home countries. These doctors are placed in private clinics across South Florida that operate under shell corporations registered in the Cayman Islands and Panama. Step 2. These clinics prescribe massive quantities of painkillers to patients who do not need them. Opioids, benzos, stimulants. The prescriptions are real, signed by licensed physicians, billed to Medicare, Medicaid, and private insurance. The pills are never dispensed from legitimate pharmacies. Instead, the prescriptions are filled by a network of cartel-controlled pill mills that produce counterfeit medications using fentanyl imported from Chinese precursor labs through the port of Miami. The fake pills are delivered to the patients. The patients overdose, and their deaths are written off as accidental. Step 3. The bodies of overdose victims are diverted, not to the county medical examiner, to the private surgical center in Aventura. There, a team of surgeons contracted through an underground medical syndicate harvests organs and tissues within hours of death. Kidneys, livers, corneas, heart valves, skin grafts, bone marrow, anything with black market value. These organs are flash frozen, packed into refrigerated biocontainers labeled as seafood or biological research samples, and shipped via air cargo to brokers in China who sell them to wealthy patients willing to pay $200,000 for a kidney with no questions asked. The syndicate also targets migrants. Undocumented immigrants passing through Florida on their way north are lured with promises of work, housing, and medical checkups. Those who show up at the clinics are sedated. Some wake up missing a kidney. Others never wake up at all. Governor Whitfield personally authorized $12 million in state healthcare grants to expand these clinics under the cover of underserved community outreach programs. He signed executive orders that reduced state-level medical facility inspections. And according to the ledger found in Vargas's safe, He received $420,000 per month in untraceable cryptocurrency payments funneled through a fake nonprofit called the Florida Wellness Coalition. This is not corruption. This is command-level collusion. This is not negligence. This is engineered murder for profit. And the operation has been running for 4 years. One analyst leans back in her chair and says it out loud. They turn healthcare into a kill floor. 5:48 a.m., Joint Operations Command Center, Miami FBI Field Office. The sun has not yet risen, but inside the command center, it feels like midday. A wall of monitors displays a live tactical map of South Florida. Red markers pulse across Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties. Each marker represents a location tied to Project Serpent Heal. Clinics, pharmacies, warehouses, shell company offices, private estates, shipping depots. There are 93 markers. At the head of the room stands FBI Special Agent in Charge Laura Mendoza, a 26-year veteran who has taken down MS, 13 cells, Russian arms dealers, and cartel enforcers. She has never seen anything like this. We're taking them all, she says. Every location, every name, every account. We go now. Within the hour, the largest coordinated federal law enforcement operation in Florida history is underway. Over 1,200 federal agents are deployed across 3 counties. DA's strike teams, ICE Homeland Security Investigations Units, FBI SWAT, U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Forces. U.S. Coast Guard cutters are positioned off the coast to intercept any vessels attempting to flee by sea. U.S. Customs and Border Protection has locked down the Port of Miami. And at the request of the Department of Defense, 2 UH-60 Black Hawk helicopters from the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment are providing aerial surveillance and rapid insertion support. At 6:03 a.m., the operation begins. In Kendall, agents storm a pharmacy operating out of a strip mall. The owner tries to run out the back door with a laptop under his arm. He is tackled in the parking lot. Inside, agents find 340,000 counterfeit pills stacked in cardboard boxes labeled as vitamin supplements. In Coral Springs, a ICE HSI team hits a medical billing office that has been processing fake insurance claims for the clinics. Servers are seized. 12 employees are arrested. Financial records show the office billed $27 million to federal healthcare programs over 3 years for procedures that never happened. In Hialeah, DEA agents breach a warehouse that is supposed to be distributing hospital supplies. Instead, they find a pill press operation capable of producing 50,000 counterfeit pills per hour. 3 men in hazmat suits are arrested while operating the machines. Agents find 120 kilograms of fentanyl powder, industrial pill molds, and 6 pallets of empty prescription bottles pre-labeled with fake pharmacy logos. In Fort Lauderdale, federal marshals arrest a cardiologist at his home. He is still in his pajamas. On his kitchen table, there's a FedEx shipping envelope addressed to an import-export firm in Shenzhen. Inside the envelope are tissue samples and a handwritten note in English and Mandarin. Premium grade. No infection. Expedite payment. In West Palm Beach, agents execute a warrant at a luxury yacht club. The target is a logistics coordinator for the trafficking network. He is found trying to start the engine of a 60-foot yacht loaded with 4 refrigerated cargo containers. Coast Guard interdiction teams board the vessel. Inside the containers, they find 97 biocontainers packed with dry ice and labeled as research specimens. Forensic analysis will later confirm the containers hold human kidneys, liver sections, and corneal tissue harvested from at least 32 individuals. By noon, the raids are complete. The syndicate has been dismantled. For $0.7 million counterfeit pills seized, $35.2 million in cash and assets frozen, 19 kilograms of fentanyl powder, 147 human organ samples recovered, 83 arrests, including 12 doctors, 9 pharmacists, 6 clinic administrators, 11 logistics contractors, and 4 state health inspectors, and 1 governor's chief of staff. The underworld took more damage in 6 hours than it had in the last 6 years. But the operation is not over, because the hardest part is not taking down the network. It is understanding how deep the betrayal goes. 2:34 p.m., FBI Evidence Analysis Unit, Miami. Investigators are going through the seized servers, emails, and financial records. And what they find is almost worse than the crimes themselves. The white coat ring, as it will later be called, had infiltrated every level of Florida's healthcare oversight system. For state health inspectors were on the syndicate payroll, receiving $15,000 per month to falsify facility inspection reports and delay audits. 2 county medical examiners were bribed to classify overdose deaths as natural causes or accidental, preventing criminal investigations and allowing bodies to be diverted to the organ harvesting operation. 7 hospital administrators across 3 counties accepted kickbacks to allow syndicate doctors to operate in their facilities under false credentials. 11 IC deportation officers were paid to flag undocumented migrants for health screenings at syndicate clinics, where they were sedated, harvested, and disposed of. And Governor Whitfield's director of healthcare policy, a man named Raymond Cross, personally coordinated the distribution of state grants to the shell clinics and shielded them from federal audits by classifying them as critical access facilities under state emergency health provisions. One FBI analyst pulls up an email thread between Cross and Dr. Vargas. The subject line reads, Phase 3 expansion, Broward rollout. The body of the email is chilling. We are on track to process 200 plus per quarter. Margins are holding. Gov is comfortable as long as media stays quiet. If we scale Broward by Q2, we can double organ output and push $18 million annually through the coalition. Keep the clinics clean. Keep the shipments cold. No mistakes. One investigator reads it aloud, then sits in silence for 10 seconds. They're talking about human beings like they're livestock. The next email is worse. It is from Governor Whitfield himself, sent from an encrypted Proton Mail account, addressed to Vargas and Cross. I need assurance that nothing leads back to state offices. If this collapses, none of you exist. I will deny everything. Proceed with expansion, but clean your tracks. We're building something that can run for decades. Don't let short-term greed kill long-term profit. It is not just a crime. It is a philosophy. These men did not see themselves as criminals. They saw themselves as businessmen, innovators, entrepreneurs in an unregulated market, and they were willing to kill to protect it. One senior agent turns to the team and says, what everyone is thinking. This isn't a healthcare system. This is a factory, and the product is death. 7:16 p.m., Federal Detention Center, Miami. Governor Marcus Whitfield is arrested at his private residence in Tallahassee by a joint FBI U.S. Marshals task force. He does not resist. He is calm, almost serene. He is wearing a tailored suit and asks for his attorney before the cuffs are even on. As he is let out of his mansion, a crowd of reporters shouts questions. Governor, did you know about the organ trafficking? Did you authorize the fake clinics? How many people died because of you? He does not answer. He smiles, a small, cold smile that says he believes he will walk free. But inside the evidence lockers at FBI Miami, there are 12 hard drives, 73 emails, 16 financial ledgers, and the testimony of 4 cooperating witnesses that say otherwise. And in morgues across South Florida, there are 65 bodies, 65 American citizens who trusted their doctors, who filled their prescriptions, who believed the system was there to heal them, and instead the system killed them and sold their organs to the highest bidder. This is not a story about drugs. This is a story about trust. Trust in the people who wear white coats. Trust in the officials who write the laws. Trust in the system that is supposed to protect you. And what happens when that trust is weaponized? Project Serpent Heal was not just a medical fraud scheme. It was a blueprint, a model that could be replicated in any state, any city, any system where money flows, oversight is weak, and power is concentrated in the hands of a few. Governor Whitfield and Dr. Vargas did not just steal money. They stole lives. They harvested bodies. They turned human beings into commodities and shipped them across the ocean like cargo. And they did it all under the cover of healthcare. The white coat ring is dismantled, but the question remains. How many others are still out there? How many clinics are still operating under fake credentials? How many officials are still on cartel payrolls? How many overdose victims are being diverted to operating tables instead of funeral homes? The FBI says this is the first case of its kind, but investigators privately admit they believe it is not the only one. They believe this is the beginning, not the end, and that is the most terrifying part of all. Because if this can happen in Miami, one of the most watched and regulated cities in America, then it can happen anywhere. Power does not always need violence. Sometimes it only needs silence. And a man in a white coat. If you made it this far, you need to understand something. This story is fictional, but the systems it describes are real. Medical fraud is real. Organ trafficking is real. Counterfeit pills laced with fentanyl are killing tens of thousands of Americans every year. And corruption, when it reaches the highest levels, does not look like a gangster with a gun. It looks like a governor signing a grant, a doctor writing a prescription, a pharmacist filling a bottle. If this story made you think, tap the like button so more people see it. If you want stories like this exposed, comment white coat so the algorithm knows this matters. And if you believe the system needs to be watched as closely as the criminals it is supposed to stop, then share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because the next victim could be someone you love, and the person who kills them might be someone you trust. Stay vigilant, stay awake, and never stop asking questions. This has been a fictional dramatization for storytelling purposes only, but the warning is real.